paving my lane. Me 2 times, yeah, we changing the game. Elevate me to you, vibe is brand new. Built it from scratch, now we teaching you. Hit that sub, let the vision come true. This ain't just content, it's what we do.
Welcome to your Canva Creator Fast Track. Whether you're here to build thumbnails, faceless content, or digital products, this series is your creative toolkit. Today, we're diving into the Canva Editor. Let's unlock the tools that will power your design success from day one. First up, we're getting comfortable with the Canva Editor. You'll see what each button does, where to find your tools, and how to navigate like a pro. This is your control center, and after this, you'll never feel lost again.
Whether you decide to start with a template or start from a blank page, the editor is where most of the Canva magic will happen. What we call the Canva Editor is this space where you can actually create your designs in Canva. There, you will find all your design tools and features. In this lecture, I'll do my best to show you around the editor and introduce the main design tools Canva has in store for us. Let's start by describing what you'll see in the editor. On the left side of the screen, we have what Canva calls the object panel. I don't know if this is the best name for this dark gray panel here, but that's how everybody calls it at Canva. So let's just use that name, the object panel, to refer to the dark panel on the left here. If you want to focus on your design and minimize the distraction on screen, you can hide this panel by clicking the little arrow here. To bring it back, simply click anywhere in the dark area. When we look at the object panel, we see different tabs. If this is your first time using Canva, you should see Templates, Elements, Uploads, Text, and more. These are the default tabs that cannot be removed from the panel. You will see in a minute that other tabs can be added here. Apart from the object panel, we have a gradient color menu here on top of your screen. Let's call it the top menu because I actually don't remember how people call it at Canva. This top menu has a series of buttons that we will also cover in a minute. I'm just giving you a global overview for now. The top menu will also change depending on what document type you are working with, social media, video, presentation, and what element you have selected in the main design area, text, element, photo, etc. You will see different buttons and options depending on what you are working with. The top menu is also where you will find your sharing options to share your designs in different ways, your preview button to pre-visualize your designs if you are working with video or animations, and your download options if you decide to download your design. You'll also see a box with the title of your design, and you can customize it by simply clicking on it. If you see some little crown icons, it means these features are Canva Pro features, and you won't be able to use them if you are using a free account. Moving down, we have the main design area. If you got to the editor by starting with a template, your template will already be loaded there. But if you started from scratch, you should see a blank page. If we look at the very bottom of the screen, we have a few more buttons like Notes, which allows you to add some notes to your design. We will see how useful that can be in the section about creating presentations. Then here at the bottom, we also have our zoom slider, which allows you to zoom in and out on your design. We have a button with some percentages. If you click on that, Canva will let you choose between several zoom presets. I personally like Fit because it allows me to see the entire page I'm working on. Then we have an icon with some pages. That's your grid view. Clicking on it will take you to a page where you can get an overview of all the pages in your design. And from that grid view, you can easily move pages around or delete unnecessary pages. To get out of grid view, click on the page icon again. The next icon, with 2 arrows expanding, will present your design full screen. And you should see some additional options from that screen that we will cover when we talk about presentations. To exit full screen, click on the icon again. And finally, the last icon all the way in the bottom right corner is your Help Center. Clicking on it will bring up a menu from which you can search for help about anything in Canva. How are we doing, guys? I hope you are enjoying this course so far. In the next lecture, I will be talking about all the things you can do from the object panel, aka the dark gray menu you can see on the left side of your screen when working in the Canva editor.
Next up, ingredients. We're not talking food, we're talking the key building blocks of great design. I'll show you how to search, organize, and customize elements that make your content pop. Let's stock your creative pantry.
Let's continue our tour of the Canva editor and discover where you can find the design ingredients for you to cook the perfect design. Of course, when I talk about design ingredients, I mean photos, shapes, graphics, videos, or even audio clips. To find these ingredients, we'll have a closer look at the object panel here on the left and its different tabs. Like I said in the previous lecture, this panel is customizable, so yours might look slightly different from mine, depending on what tabs you've opened recently. In a nutshell, from the object panel, you will be able to browse and switch between templates, use Canva's design elements like photos, graphics, videos, or audio clips, upload your own elements, add and format text, use predefined styles, access your Canva folders, create charts, add a background to your design, and connect different apps to import content, create something new, or enhance your design experience. Let's dive into it. The first tab is the Templates tab. This allows me to search the template library for templates of a particular format. That format will be the document type you have opened from the homepage. So, for example, if you started with an Instagram story from the homepage, you will see story templates when you click on the Templates tab here in the Object panel. If we scroll down, we'll see that these templates are organized in different categories. Also, this scroll is pretty much infinite. You can get more information about each template by hovering your mouse over it. Let's examine this one, for example. First, we can see that it's a free template. And then we have the button with the 3 dots here on top. A new menu pops up when we click on that. We can now see the title of this template, click on the name of the creator to view more template from that person, use a couple of keywords to find similar content. We can star the template to keep it in our starred folder, and we can learn about the style used on that template, which includes the fonts and the color used in it. Canva gives us an option to apply the style only of the template to our current design. If I click on that, the colors and font from the template will be applied to my design. Pretty cool, huh? Now, if instead of hovering over the template in the object panel, I click on it, Canva will load that template in the design area, erasing whatever was in there. So be careful to always create a new page before adding a template if you don't want to lose what you have on screen already. To do so, simply scroll to the bottom of the design area and use the plus add page button. Okay, if we move down the object panel, we will encounter a second tab here that says Elements.
And trust me, this tab is quickly going to become your best friend.
There are 2 ways to use the Elements tab, with a particular search or just browsing. Let's say you're searching for something in particular, like a shape. Go ahead and type in shape in the search bar. Canva will then show you a bunch of results for the search shape. You can scroll down to discover these shapes and choose the one you like. Notice how right below your search box, you'll have some new tabs. These would say All, Photos, Graphics, Videos, and Audio. These are all the design ingredients that Canva has for you. Clicking on any of these tabs will allow you to filter your results for the keyword shape by element category or design ingredients if you prefer. If what I'm looking for is a video, for example, I'll click on the Video tab to see video results for shapes. You can be more precise with your searches and add, let's say, a color for your shapes. So let's add red in the search box after shape. I will type plus red. And now the panel is filled with mostly red shapes. Something else worth mentioning here is that not all elements from a specific search will be free for all to use. Indeed, that's how Canva makes money. A good percentage of elements will be pro elements. You'll recognize them when you see the little crown. Just remember, anything with a gold crown in Canva means this stuff is for pro users. When it comes to elements, it doesn't mean you cannot use these elements. If I go ahead and click on an element with a gold crown with my free Canva account, this is my free account, the element will have a watermark on it. You can still use it in your design, but if you share it or download it, it will still have the watermark. We will talk about your options to purchase individual elements in another lecture of this section, so I'm going to skip that for now, as I just want to show you how to use the Elements tab. And talking about the Elements tab, let's see the second way you can use it. This time, let's say you already have worked on a design and you are pretty happy about it, but you feel it could use some pizzazz, like little touch that would make it amazing. Well, Canva can help you with that. Click on Elements and start looking around. Make sure you don't have anything in the search box. If you do, delete it and hit Enter. When you do that, clicking on the Elements tab with no search in the box, Canva will make a bunch of suggestions. The tabs that were element categories previously became suggested keywords. And the panel is now filled with other elements. You will see your recently used elements and some other categories like lines and shapes, graphics, photos, etc. Let's click on graphic, for example. Now you'll see something new called Magic Recommendations, which is a set of recommendations Canva will make based on what's in your design, which is super cool. Let me show you how that works. If I use this template right here and click on Graphics and then Magic Recommendations, this is what Canva is going to show me. Now let's change the template for this one, for example, go back to Magic Recommendations, and now you see something completely different that matches this particular template.
AI, baby!
Some other sections you'll see here include Featured, keep an eye on these to discover some fresh elements, Stickers, which are animated graphics, and some more. If you keep scrolling down, you'll soon see some element collections created by Canva. These collections will feature elements that work well together. They will help you create consistency in your design projects. To explore a collection, simply click on See All. Alright, let's keep moving. The next tab is the Uploads tab. You will use this tab to upload your own content to Canva. Simply click on the purple Upload Media button and select the file you want to upload. You can upload images, that includes photos and graphics, videos and audio files. From this tab, you can also ask Canva to fetch content from different third-party apps like Facebook, Google Drive, Instagram, Dropbox, or Google Photos. If you decide to do that, you'll have to connect these apps to Canva first. So click on the three dots near the purple Upload Media button, choose which app you'd like to source content from, let's say Dropbox, connect your account, and you should be good to go. Note that you can only connect these apps to one Canva account. So if you have already connected Dropbox to a Canva account, like me here, for example, you won't be able to connect it again to another account. But I want to show you how it looks, so I'll quickly change to another account of mine, which is actually connected to Dropbox. Here, I am now in that account. Let me go back to Uploads, click on the three dot button and choose Dropbox again. Perfect. Now we are in my Dropbox. What's here are all my folders. I've blurred them out for privacy reasons, but I will go to this one right here, which contains some photos I took with my nonprofit project, Fairtrade Connection. I can now click on any of these photos and start using it in Canva. When you import elements from third-party apps like I just did, they will remain in your Uploads tab. If you delete it from here, your Uploads tab, it doesn't mean you are deleting it from its original location, like in my case, my Dropbox folder. Let's continue to explore the Uploads tab. You will see another button under the purple one that says Record Yourself. This button might move to some other place in the future, but for now, this is where you'll find it, under the Uploads tab. When you click on it, you will be taken to the recording studio. The recording studio will allow you to record videos of yourself via your webcam, to record audio, and also to record your screen. We'll cover the studio in details in the section about creating videos. So let's not get into that right now. Just know that it's here. And that's pretty much all there is to know about the Uploads tab. Just note that there are 3 different tabs here on top that will let you filter images from videos and audio files. The last thing I'd like to point out, which is kind of a pro tip, is that you can upload anything into Canva from basically anywhere. You don't need to come to the Uploads tab. Let me show you. I have this image right here in my downloads. I can just grab it and drop it here in the object panel. And it doesn't matter if I am on another tab, like here I am on the templates tab. Canva will recognize that I am uploading a media and leave it in my uploads. Isn't that wonderful?
Now that you have your elements, it's time to say something with style. This next video breaks down working with text in Canva. Everything from font pairing to spacing tricks that grab attention. Make your words work harder for you.
Understanding how to work with text in Canva is going to make you a better designer. Indeed, almost all of your future designs will have text on them. So it's important you get familiar early on with the tools Canva gives you to work with text. This lecture will be your guide. If we come back to the object panel, we will observe there is a tab that says text. This tab is a great starting point and will allow you to work with text in different ways. For example, from here, you will be able to use the search box to search for font in the library, quickly create headings, subheadings, and body text based on preset formatting you might have set up via your brand kit, and use some pre-made font combinations. Let's start with the search box. If you don't know what to type in there because you don't know the name of any font, try using a descriptive keyword like bold or thin or handwritten. Canva will then show you a bunch of fonts that match that descriptive keyword. Here again, you'll notice some fonts have the little crown on them, and that means, let's say it all together, they are only available for pro users. That's right. If you see a font that you like, simply click on it to create a text box in your design. You now have that new element on your page that you can edit. So let's change the text first. To do that, double-click on the text box and start typing. When you do that, you will see some new buttons showing up near the top gradient menu. You should see a box with the name of the font that you use, the size of your font, a color button to change the color of your font, your bold, italic, underline, and other formatting buttons. There's a button to convert your text to all caps, another one to create lists and bullet points, a button that says spacing when you hover over it, which will allow you to add or reduce spacing between the letters or between the lines. There's also a button that says effects and another one that says animate. Let's spend a bit more time on each of these as they pack a lot of powerful features. So let's click on effects first. This will open a new panel with a bunch of text effects. And Canva will probably continue to add more text effects in the future, but for now, this is what we have. We have shadows, lift, hollow, splice, echo, glitch, neon, and background. These are grouped together as the style effect because they will change the style of your text. And then at the bottom, we have one shape effect, which is the curved text. Let's click on the first effect here that says shadow. You should now see a subtle shadow on your text. And once you're here, I encourage you to play around with the different sliders and buttons to modify the effect. Be aware that each effect will have its own set of settings, but here, for example, under shadow, we have offset, which changes the distance between the shadow and your text. We have direction, which influences the direction of the shadow. We have blur, which will make your shadow softer by blurring it. And we have transparency, which will add some transparency to your shadow to make it more subtle. Also, at the bottom here, we have color. And when you click on the color, you can change the color of the shadow. All right, I'm not going to cover every single style effect here, but I encourage you to try them out. I particularly like the last one here that says background because it allows you to add a shape or a background behind your text. So make sure you try them all and see which ones are your favorites. Before moving on, I'd like to show you the curve effect to curve your text. You'll find it at the bottom of the text effect when you have a text box selected. So simply click on it and it will curve your text. And this might not seem like much, but Canva users had been asking for that very one feature for years. Canva communities, both official and non-official, were flooded by comments of users asking for curved text. And this went on for so long until they finally made it happen. And I am proud to say that I was involved in the launch of that feature at Canva. Indeed, we produced a little video with the team to announce the launch of that feature to all of our users. And this video broke some record on Canva's official Facebook and Instagram account.
Yep, that was my moment of fame at Canva.
All right, let's come back to Earth and back to our lecture about text here. It is now time we explore this other important button here on top that says Animate. When you click on that with the text box selected, do make sure you have a text box selected, you will access some preset text animations Canva has in store for you. Some will be for all users and others for pro users only. You know the drill by now. You can preview each of these animations by hovering over them and apply them to your text by clicking on them. When you do click on them, the name of the animation should show in the button instead of animate. So this is how you animate text. If you want to add different animations to different words on the same page, you'll have to create individual text boxes for each word. Just keep that in mind. We will see a bit later in the course how you can animate other types of elements, but for now, let's focus on text in this lecture. Okay, let's come back to the object panel and try to use the preset text formatting. Canva lets you add a heading, add a subheading, and add some body text. If you are a pro user, you will actually be able to set a style for each of these text formats via your brand kit and then use them as a quick way to create text boxes that carry your desired attributes. On top of the Add Heading button, you should see a title that says Untitled Brand Kit. Or if you have already set a brand kit, this line will say the name of your brand kit and then a button that says Edit. Let's click on Edit and you should see this window popping up. So here we see text styles, and if I try to add a heading style by clicking on that with my free account, I will be invited to upgrade to Canva Pro. I still want to show you how these preset formatting work though, so I'm going to switch over to my Pro account now. Okay, so here we are in my Pro account. I'm going to come back to the Text tab in the Object panel and click on that Edit button again. And now, from this window, I can actually adjust the style of each text item. Simply click on the little pencil icon and you'll be able to change the font, size, and attribute of each line of text. So let's modify this for prompt bold 72. Once done, we can start using these presets in the Canva editor. So let's just close this window and give it a try. See, this heading is now in prompt bold size 72. And you can come back and change these settings at any time. This is great to create presentations, for example, and keep that consistency throughout your document. The last thing I want to show you here on the Text tab is the font combination that Canva created for us. You'll find them when scrolling down a bit. So to use it is very simple. Simply click on them to load them in your design. So these are font combinations or font pairs that work well together, or text with interesting effects applied to them. Just have a play with them. Alrighty, I'd like to wrap up this lecture by giving you a pro tip for using fonts. Are you ready? Alright, instead of going to the Text tab and clicking on one of the headings, you can actually create a text box super quickly by using the T key on your keyboard. This shortcut will save you a few seconds every time you use text in Canva, which over the years will probably represent minutes, if not hours of your life.
You are welcome.
Let's turn up the visuals. Coming up next, how to master images in Canva. We'll cover uploading, editing, and enhancing photos to boost your content's impact, whether it's a social post or a product preview.
Welcome back to the course, folks. In this lecture, we are going to learn how to work with photos in Canva, whether you are using your own photos or you are finding some interesting ones in the Canva library.
Welcome back to the course, folks. In this lecture, we are going to learn how to work with photos in Canva, whether they are your own photos or you find them in the Canva library. The first thing we need to understand is that photos can be used by themselves or placed in either a frame or a grid. Both frames and grids can be found under the Elements tab. If you click on that tab and scroll down a bit, you should find them pretty easily. Let's choose Frames and click on See All to discover them. Canva has a multitude of frames in all sizes and shapes. Some frames will have a border that you can customize, and others will look like devices such as a phone or a computer. There's even a few categories of letter frames, which are quite popular among Canva users. And you can also search frames. Simply type in your keyword in the search bar once you are looking at frames. To make sure you are in the right place, make sure your search box says Search Frames. Let's use this circle shape with a border, for example. This will look nice to create a profile picture. You now have your frame on the page, and we can see the color of the border can actually be customized. All we need now is a photo to put inside this frame. So let's find one in my uploads. I'm going to drop this photo of mine into the frame. And from here, I can do a few things. I can double click on the frame with my photo in it in order to resize the photo or simply move it around. To resize, just grab a corner of the photo and stretch it. And to move it around, just click on the photo again and move it with your mouse. And once you are happy with your cropping or positioning, click on Done. The last thing you can do with this frame is to change the color of its border. To do that, select the frame and click on the color square next to the gradient color button. Your photo is now in a frame and can be moved around easily on your page. If you change your mind, simply click on the frame and click Delete to delete the photo, or right-click on the frame with your mouse and choose Detach Image to remove the photo from the frame without deleting it. Now let's have a look at grids, which are pretty similar to frames in the way they work. Grids will divide your entire page in different frames, allowing you to place multiple photos into a specific grid layout. Let's load one on our page and see how they work. Notice how the grid takes up the entire page. If you don't want it that big, you can always select it and then reduce its dimensions by dragging from one of its corners. This time, I'm going to use photos from the Canva library instead of my own photo. So head over to the Elements tab and type in what you're looking for in the search bar. I'm going to search for dogs. Also, make sure to use the Photos tab under the search box to filter your result and see only photos. Also note that other types of elements like graphics will not snap into your grid and frames. Only photos and videos will. And you see how this photo has a watermark on it? That's because it's a premium element. If you want to avoid the watermark, make sure to find photos that say free. Also, you might want to find photos with a specific color in them, like this first one here, which has a white background. The good news is that Canva has some additional filters that will help you refine your element searches. Click on the little setting icon right here in the search bar and choose some extra filters. And from here, you can pick a dominant color, you can filter by photo orientation, or decide to see only static or animated elements. So here I want photos with a white background. So let's choose the color white and apply the filters. And now almost all my photos have a white background. All I need to do is select the ones I want and place them in my grid. And if I use one and then change my mind, I can easily remove it from my grid by using the delete key on my keyboard. Okay, I now have my grid full of photos. Something else I can do is to change the color of the background of my design. To do that, make sure to click on the background of the design, not on the grid, and use the color button to choose another color. I don't see one that I like here, so I will create a color by using the gradient button with the little plus in it. Let's go for this fuchsia color. Next, I'm going to resize my grid to leave a little bit of the background show on each side of the photos, trying to remain consistent with the space between the photos in my grid. And there you go, a lovely post for my Instagram feed. It literally took me 2 minutes.
How else can we work with photos in Canva?
We can actually start our project with a photo. And to do that, you'll need to start from the home page. Click on the Create a Design button in the top right corner and choose Edit Photo or Use in a Design. And that's a great way to start a project if you know exactly what photo you'll be using. There's also a lesser known shortcut if you want to start a project by using one of your photos. It's a button that is located right here in the search bar on the home page. This little camera icon right here. So let's import a photo to work with. This one will do just fine. I'm going to click on Edit Photo, and this will open the photo in its original dimensions. Here it's 4608 by 3456 pixels, so it's a quite high resolution photo, which is great. Okay, my photo is now uploaded, and if I click on it, a few buttons will pop up in the top menu, as well as a blue border with some circles or little balls and lines around my photo. Let's see what all of these tools do. First, the blue frame. This will allow me to crop my photo and resize it. To resize, grab one of the circles or the corners and drag. To crop, grab one of the lines and pull. Next, let's look at what the Edit Image button does right here on top. And folks, you might not see this button, and that probably is because you don't have your photo selected. So click on it, click on the photo to select it first. Once I click, I will see a new menu with different features that will help me get creative with my photo. I can see the background remover, some sliders to adjust a bunch of settings, some filters, and other things like smart mockups, shadows, or frames. There's a lot to cover here, and I don't think this is the right time to do so, as I want to take you to the designing part of this course as quickly as possible. So let's keep all of that good stuff for the section of the course titled Designing for Social Media. I promise I will explain all of these settings there. For now, just remember that all of these features can be found by selecting a photo and clicking on the Edit Image button. Let's wrap up this lecture by going over the last few buttons I haven't covered yet when you have a photo selected. So we have Crop, Flip, a little Info button, and Animate. Crop will let you crop your photo. It's pretty straightforward. Just grab one of the corners and crop to your taste. Once happy with the cropping, click Done. Flip simply allows you to flip a photo either vertically or horizontally. Nothing fancy here. The Info button is interesting though, in that it allows you to harness some information about a specific photo. If I click on it, it shows me the title of my photo together with the type of file it is. Here, it's a JPEG. It also allows me to store that image into a folder, which I'm not going to do at this point. So nothing really too useful here. But had I use a photo from the library instead of my own photo, this Info button could have been much more useful. So let's add a page to our design and import a photo from the library, because I want to show you. Now let's try the Info button again with this new photo selected. And now I can see more info and take more actions. For example, I can view more content from the author of that photo, which can be really useful if I'm looking at creating a consistent presentation or use multiple photos in a carousel, for example, that I post on social media. So if I click on that, on the name of the creator or the photographer, my object panel will go straight to that creator's library. Each contributor to the Canva library has a specific brand identity. This is the brand ID of the author of that photo. And I can build upon this by adding some keywords next to the brand ID of any specific creator. So let's try to add plus mountain. Okay, let's come back to our Info button and see what else we can do. We can click on the tags to find related content. We can start a photo, add it to a folder, or see more like this. And this last button will display a few similar elements in the Canva library, helping me remain consistent with my design.
I'm telling you, it's very hard to create bad designs with Canva.
You're designing like a pro, but here's the question: what's free and what's not? In this final lesson of today's training, we'll compare Canva's premium and free elements so you can design smart without breaking the bank.
Some of you may wonder, how is this possible? Why is Canva so nice to me? I'm not paying for anything and yet I get all of this value in return? Now I can finally create some designs that don't make people go like, "Huh? This is too good to be true." Nope, this is indeed true. And this is why I have so much love and respect for Canva. Let me explain how Canva actually makes money. They figured out 2 ways to make you open up your wallet.
The first one, and this is what we are going to cover in this lecture, is by selling premium photos, graphics, videos, and audio tracks for a couple of dollars. And the second way is by having users upgrade to Canva Pro, which we'll talk about in the next section. Okay, so let's talk about the premium elements. We are going to create a new design. It doesn't really matter which kind of design it is at this point, so let's just pick a presentation. As we already know, Canva shows us a bunch of different templates here on the left column. So we can use these templates and start designing from them. If you scroll down a bit, you'll start seeing templates that have a little crown sign on them and say Pro. These are for Canva Pro users only, and you won't be able to open them with a free account. You might also see some other templates that say Free. These are available for free users and don't contain any premium elements at all, so they are completely free to use. But then you will also find a last category of templates that don't say free but don't have a crown on them. These are free templates that do contain premium elements. Let me show you what I mean. See, this template, for example, doesn't say free but also doesn't have a crown on it. Let's click on it and apply all pages to my design. All the pages are now generated here. If I try to download this presentation with the little arrow button here on top, Canva will tell me that it's actually using some premium images. See here, 6 times premium images for a total of $6 Australian. If I click on the little arrow here, I can actually see what these premium elements are. I see 3 icons and 3 photos here in the little preview. So from here, Canva lets you do one of 3 things. Number 1, you can subscribe to Canva Pro and never pay for any premium element ever again, as Canva Pro will unlock the entire media library. Know that you will be charged monthly or annually for Canva Pro. That's the first option. The second one is that you can pay for these 6 premium elements and download your design. What you are actually doing when you do that is to purchase a One Design Use license. If you click on Pay and Download, you will see different payment methods available in your country. You can also buy some Canva credit and benefit from a 10% discount if you buy one of their bundles. The third option is that you can download a free watermark draft of this presentation, meaning these 6 images will have a watermark on them. And I will add a fourth option to this mix. If you don't want to pay for anything, you can replace the photos and icons that we've seen are premium elements by some free ones in this template, and that will solve your problem. Now, let me tell you a bit more about the different types of premium elements that Canva offers to its free users. You'll have the premium photos and graphics. These cost $1. You will have the premium audio tracks that cost $3. And you will have the premium video clips that will set you back $5. And note that these are the prices that I see here in Australia in Australian dollars. This might be different depending on where you live. Oh, and one last thing. When you purchase Canva premium elements, they will be stored in your purchased folder under the Folders tab. So that's pretty much all there is to know about premium elements and how to purchase them. If you want to learn more about licensing rights, I recommend you visit Canva's Help Center, accessible via the little question mark icon in the top nav bar on the Canva homepage.
And that's a wrap on your Canva basics. You've covered the core tools that will make every project smoother and smarter. Ready for the next level? In our next live session, we're diving into Canva Pro features like background remover, animations, and pro fonts. Stay tuned, it's about to get advanced.
Okay, thank y'all, everybody. That was the end of this live session for part 2. If you missed part 1, please go and watch the replay. Also, it just said, we would be going over part 3, which you cover some of the Canva Pro tools, and that's like the background remover, the pro animations, and some custom fonts. All these videos will be organized in a playlist that you can watch in order at your own pace. So go back and watch some of the replays. I try to have most of them all labeled correctly, so you can follow along and kind of pick the video that you need help with. Okay, well, thank y'all. Please subscribe, put on your notifications, and please hit the like button. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Faceless grind, I'm paving my lane. Me 2 times, yeah, we changing the game. Elevate me to you, vibe is brand new. Built it from scratch, now we teaching you. Hit that sub, let the vision come true. This ain't just content, it's what